Oh, hi. Oh, there you are. My name is Shane Bruce, and somebody just recently tried to rip me off from China, right? They sold me some counterfeit medicines or antidotes. Technically, I suppose it could be called an essential medicine and approved by who, but that's the World Health Organization. But it's nearly unattainable here in the US. So I bought this stuff from overseas. I'm like, hey, I just got $250,000 worth of chemicals for $400. Should have known better. There's other sites saying $1,000 per kilogram, but I found this one that was half price, and I thought as long as I'm saving money, the might as well save the $500, that kind of thing, right? But so I did something we'll call a chemical identification by using reagents. Now, this could be called a bloopers reel. This is like all the stuff not to do using chemistry. I'm not a chemist. I have a science degree, but I am not a chemist. I'm an engineer, maybe. I'm a physicist. Yeah, computer programmer, electrical engineer. I've tried to avoid the beaker world. I just don't like it. So anyways, besides the bloopers, this is a proof or visual proof of the chemical proof identification, or what is actually DMSA, and that the stuff they sent me is not DMSA. So I mean, banks already refunded my money. I just want to put a little cherry on top. All right, so here comes the video. Try not to laugh too much. It's long, it's tedious, it's boring, but within it is the steps of what needed to be done. All right. Shane Bruce here. So I have arsenic poisoning, so I have to use DMSA, which is a antidote, chelating antidote for to remove it from the system. And I've tried to buy some from overseas, but I think I have a counterfeit. So I'm going to chemically identify the compound because I know it's not DMSA for various reasons that I'll get into later. But the first reagent I need will be a lead acetate. Now, you can buy lead acetate like in crystalline form and add glycerin to have an aqueous soluble solution, but you can also make it at home if you're off the thing. The acetate acid in vinegar is the reactive compound to lead. I'm putting 100 milliliters in there. And hydrogen peroxide helps the process along a little bit. I'm mixing them in equal amounts, up to 200 milliliters, to form an aqueous solution. And to this I am simply going to add a bit of lead, fishing weights. Now, I'm not sure if these are pure lead, and if the acid was more than 5%, which they watered it down for some reason, you would see a reaction. There is a little bit of bubbling happening. There is a bit of oh yeah, see that little cloud there? It's already dissolving. That's kind of interesting. I expect this to take all night though. You can see the lead's already starting to dissolve. Now, the lead in there is much more than 5% of the solution, so I'll probably have to add some, but that's actually a rather nice reaction right there for Walmart aisles. Now, you get lead, of course, from anywhere. All three of the sporting section aisles, fishing, you can get them lead pellets in the for air guns, or even the ankle weights would probably be a faster reaction. I'm actually rather pleased with this quick reaction. This will be dissolved overnight. It's already turning a bit cloudy. So we already have lead acetate. I'm going to, of course, wait for a saturated solution. And since it's kind of a weak compound, I'm going to put it over here by an open window. I'm not really worried about fumes because the lead's not going to dissolve, evaporate slower than water, but I'm just going to turn a little fan on here and try to evaporate that overnight, and probably add some more vinegar tomorrow, which I will show you the rest of the experiment. Or it's not really an experiment. This is a chemical identification process But this is the first reagent I'll need, which I'm pre-mixing, and we'll come back to it tomorrow. I do wish to add right away that lead acetate is an incredibly toxic compound. I wouldn't mix this unless you had a purpose for it. I know it's fun making experiments at home sometimes, but lead's already toxic, but in soluble solution it is just ready to be absorbed into the body, and is very toxic. They use it in hair products, actually, and makeup and all kinds of weird things. They really shouldn't. It's a common compound, but just FYI, the wiser statement is you don't want this stuff around, really. But I have a purpose for it, and we'll get into that tomorrow. So right now, I have a pretty good 10% solution. 10% lead acetate. But I want a little bit more than 100 milliliters. I figure maybe 150 milliliters would do me. So I am going to add a bit more I don't want to splash that stuff. Some toxic, nasty stuff. That's the type of stuff that you'd find in, like you hear about arsenic and orange juice. Arsenic and lead are much the same. They'll bind at the, well, they'll dissolve in acetate, which would be found in grape juice or fruit juice. I didn't take care of the ventilation problem, seems like, didn't I? Anyways. So I'm going to let that evaporate down to about 150 milliliters, and then I'll have plenty of 10% lead acetate solution as my first reagent. This is day 3. So going along slowly. Anyways, I'll be back. Alright, Shane Bruce here, I'm back. Now I've taken this vinegar and lead and hydrogen peroxide, and I've put it up to 200 milliliters and diluted it down to 100 milliliters 2 or 3 times. So I have a very saturated content of lead acetate here. You might notice the white milking and other things. Well, you know, actually you can see YouTube videos of 10-year-old kids doing this in their dad's garage, but the more other people will take this and evaporate it down to form crystals of lead acetate, but I want a soluble lead acetate. Now this is lead acetate. It's saturated though. That means it's about as soluble as it can get. And I want to dissolve those crystals because I want a purely dissolved solution. Now, I wouldn't recommend this in garages or closed spaces. Anybody that works with chemicals at all should have at least some fundamental training in chemicals, such as being aware of fumes. You don't want it on your skin. You don't want it splashing in your eyes. And you notice chemists always wear these really loose, comfortable clothing. This is not merely just for comfort or whatever people might think. This is so you can take off the outer layer quickly if something spills on you. So, why do smart people wear frumpy and layers of clothing? It's probably not what most people think, right? So this is glycerin, and this will dissolve the crystals down. And I'm at 100 milliliters right now. And this is about as concentrated as lead acetate as you can get. Now this glycerin, your common day pure vegetable glycerin, it's used in soaps, beauty products. Some people might use it in kitchens, that kind of thing. Anything I'm using here besides the lead itself is, of course, household kitchen products. But I'm going to add a little bit more vinegar to help that dissolve as well. Now you can see already the layers working on this, where it's so I've added glycerin to my compound of probably 20% saturated lead acid. So, since I'm not heating it, it's not going to settle down, vibrate itself out anytime soon. If I had a centrifuge or something, I would wait. But and the only reason I am wanting it the gel down is the glycerin down is to make a really clear solution so it shows up well on video. I mean, that's the only reason. I'm sure it'll titrate anyways. So I'm going to try to do this. I'm just hoping to make it clearer so be able to see the process, but rather than take the day or 5 days or a week to try to distill down a 15%, 20% solution of lead acetate in aqueous form. If I had set that down slower, I wouldn't have mixed it up. See what I mean by habit? There's muscle memory in chemistry. That's why people who aren't chemists shouldn't do chemistry. I shouldn't do chemistry. I mean, if I had a habit of it, like pouring slowly so it didn't mix up, there's a elegance to the motion of doing chemistry, but the most efficient way of doing something. Like, I'm pretty sure this stuff at the bottom is now sludge, so it's pouring nicer. I mean, I got most of it down just by waiting on it, but it's still not clear. I mean, if I'd waited like a day or two, put it back in the crock pot or something, perhaps it would be clear. This looks clear. But like if you have a cheap coffee maker and you don't want the grounds in your coffee, same kind of deal. Alright. If I get to 120 milliliters, we just go ahead and do this, because I am tired of waiting. Alright. While that filtrates down, it's kind of cloudy. I hope it works. If not, I'll have to do it again. But to be fair on these type things, I am going to make sure it works first by getting a positive test, because I have DMSA, right? Good thing to have. DMSA comes in the form of CHEMET. This is the generic $2,000 per bottle generic of DMSA. This is why I was ordering from overseas, because $2,000. Now my copay, my coverage gap goes up to like $200 of that or more, maybe about $400 or $500 for that one bottle. So of course I was going to try to have my own capsule maker, and I was doing the whole DMS type thing. And if this doesn't work, I'm ticked off because I am wasting 2 pills of this most precious quantity of look at that, full of granules. I never opened one of these before. Usually it's fine ground. So I have approximately 200 milligrams of DMSA in this. Now this is not ready water soluble. I do have water, however. I am using a good quantity of water. And while it says this stuff is water soluble, it really isn't. By precipitant, I mean the solid matter in the bottom of this. See this layer of solid stuff. Well, this is DMSA. And to help DMSA is safe to handle. But to help this dissolve, I am going to put in some sodium carbonate, baking soda. Stir it up real well. Pop, pop, fizz, fizz, right? I'll just keep stirring it. Watch it really bubble there. It's like mixing with vinegar or something. But this is the way to dissolve the DMSA and keep it, make it water soluble. It's still DMSA. Which is dicaptamine succinic acid. See, the acid and baking soda just went howdy at each other. But it'll still do what it's supposed to do, right? Now, wouldn't you know it, this is cloudy too. Of all the annoying things in the world, I got two cloudy substances I'm trying to mix together. Well, let's go ahead and do this. I am learning some skills, like leave this on and take the rubber band off. It makes it a whole lot easier, doesn't it? Alright. I'm going to put my lead acetate filter in there. I just don't want to mess with it. So on a positive test of DMSA, when I mix these two solutions together, I should have some yellow participant down the bottom. And it works like this. Boom. See that? Whoa, I didn't expect it to bubble up. But it sure enough did. That was probably from the leftover sodium bicarbonate. I guess I could have waited on that. I'm going to go get a lot of paper towels because I have just created a chemical hazard. But that's not as dangerous as pure lead acetate because the DMSA has countered the lead dissolving. I just got a bunch of nasty foam, but it did turn yellow, didn't it? And that glycerin kept it from going anywhere. I should have like a little yellow sediment at the bottom of this. My bad. I won't use the glycerin next time. Because we are doing this again, boys and girls, worms and germs, ladies and gentlemen. Should have a nice hard ceramic counter. See, a chemist would have added that more slowly. Would have added just a little bit of that. I've never done this one before, so. And I can't see it for the gelatin, of course. The precipitant actually bubble up on top there. You can see like little clusters of stuff. Just a nasty sludge though. Not the brightest of maneuvers. So got a nice yellow solid there, right? I should have expected that. You know why I should have expected that? I got vinegar on one side and sodium bicarbonate on the other. That is your high school, grade school, preschool volcano. But I'm going out of my way because I know the stuff I bought from China is some bad stuff. I mean, it's not the real thing. It's counterfeit. I am going out of my way to show that this crap that I bought from China is not DMSA. Because when we do this again, I'm betting it won't turn to a yellow precipitant. I am too much of a klutz to ever even consider being a chemist. I had one thought all through chemistry class. Just one. Where's the pretty girl that can be my chemistry partner? Now, why would I put a girl in harm's way? Well, some people are good at it. It's like being a master chef as compared to being a cook. I can get by with it, but I am not the greatest chemist in the world. So let's do this again, shall we? Okay, this is my DMSA thing. Of course, when I put this in here, it's probably going to bubble. The difference is I'm going to expect it to bubble this time. So I want to get rid of, you know, the stuff I have. But it's the only way to dissolve it. So what are you going to do, right? So this crap I bought from China, fortbio.com from Alibaba.com. These are like a eBay of, well, more like an Amazon of China produced crap, or from around the world where you can buy just about anything. Of course, one might consider me foolish to have, I'm going to use this bigger beaker this time because I don't want the whole thing boiling over. Now this is the stuff I got from Alibaba. Sounds like a foolish place to buy something, doesn't it? This is 250 milligrams of the stuff of whatever the crap was that they sent me. I'm going to use water again. Look at that, instantly dissolved. I don't even need to add the sodium bicarbonate. It's not DMSA, is what I'm saying. I already can tell this because it dissolved perfectly. Now, when I put this in here, this should turn yellow and the sediment should form on the bottom. It's not yellow. No yellow substance occurred. This is some bad crap from the fortbio.com. This is some fake as hell counterfeit crap. If they sell this as medicine, they should be shamed. They should be like hunted down or something. Fake medicine. Alright, to be fair, I didn't add the stuff the first time. That's why we check stuff. Do the exact same thing twice. Alright. In the interest of scientific purity, I'm going to add the sodium bicarbonate again and dissolve whatever the stuff was that they had from Biochem, but I know it's not going to turn yellow sludgy. I just know it's not. How do I know that, you might ask? Well, anytime I take DMSA, since I have arsenic in my body, I get something called granuloma annulare. I get this weird, painful skin rash, bumps, blisters, blood blisters under everything. And it happens to people who have arsenic poisoning. So it's expected, right? I'm going to pour the rest of this in here. I put the stuff from China in like to 800 capsules because I was planning on taking this. I actually took this for like a week. 500 milligrams, 650 milligrams every 5 hours. In other words, I was taking a counterfeit product because this hadn't been tested. I don't know what stuff they gave me. I believe it's vitamin A probably, because I have a different reaction to vitamin A. I just happen to know my chemicals really well. So this time we're adding the sodium bicarbonate. I shouldn't use that spoon like that really. I'm not putting it back in there. So this time, the exact same way we should have a yellow, nasty sludge, bubbly shake of crap. But I'm pretty sure it's not going to turn yellow. We got the fizz and no yellow. Still no yellow. FortBio.com, Chinese manufacturer producer. You sent me some counterfeit fake stuff because you couldn't match up. You all some nasty people. Alright. So I already knew it's not DMSA. I just wanted a visual say it's not DMSA besides some blisters forming up. Yeah. It's probably a criminal fraud activity. Gotta clean all this crap up. Lead fricking acetate all over the place. Damn, Fort Bio. Well, anyways, if you don't like the counterfeit crap and you have to buy this generic stuff for $2,000 a bottle, let me really suggest some Amway products, Neutralite. Amway.com//Shane Bruce. Alright, so we have the best minerals and supplements in place, and you need high quality supplements if you're ever chelating anyway. So the first thing to buy would be go to my site and buy the Daily or the Double X. And fruits and vegetables, also anti-inflammatories and all those stuff to keep you healthy. Alright, see you all later. So what is the moral of the story here? Seriously. Pay too much for pharmacies, or try overseas, or always learn another rung on the ladder of life, or you have to be on your own and everybody's not going to help you because nobody else understands any more than you do. It's a huge mess, but after this test, I had a standing prescription at the pharmacy where I go in and pay, what does that say, $1,050. Yes, indeed, $56.56. That's me. I picked it up today. So that kind of sucks, doesn't it? I am paying $1,056.56 for 60 grams of this DMSA. Now, I had hoped, the scandalous galleons, reptiles, or I wouldn't even call them reptiles. Reptiles would be more honest than Fort Bio Annie or whatever. Who knows what they're spoofing, but they have a Forte Bio email address. I'll post that on here if you want. Here, I'll put it right there. See? Boom. Can you imagine your fingers around that? Anyways, And that was Alibaba.com. Counterfeit, scandal, fraud, bad stuff. But the CHEMET from the pharmacy, the stuff right here, at $2,000 per 10 grams. $2,000 per 10 grams. And I probably, if I try it again, I could probably find a real supplier from China for $1,000 per kilogram. That would be 100 of these. Let's see. 100, that's a $200,000 worth of DMSA for 1,000. It's not supposed to cost this much. I've tried to contact people. It can be bought from places in South Africa. Livingsupplements.com works. It's actual DMSA. I know I get blisters from it, like I do this stuff. That's how I know. That's all I knew it was fake to begin with. But I thought I'd go through the chemical process saying, hey, anybody can test it. You don't have to blister up and be allergic to it to test it. Of course, don't have the glycerin. That was the other little moral of the story. Don't want the glycerin. Glycerin's not too bad. It just makes it harder to handle. What you don't want is the lead acetate or arsenic or any other crap. And you don't want counterfeiters. So if someone's, ordering DMSA from overseas in bulk because, hey, that's a good idea, they tell me they get lots of orders over there. Here's a test for it. Don't add the glycerin. The real DMSA will turn yellow and precipitate out a lead acetate. You should have nice clear lead acetate. And if you let the lead and vinegar settle without adding more to it occasionally, it won't be as acidic. You should have more lead. Just pour off the top of it and leave the lead in the bottom. And let the hydrogen peroxide air out in your second reagent. Mix the two the night before and then mix them the next day, and maybe you won't have the yellow lead volcano. But yeah, the lead volcanoes, you use a bigger beaker. Besides that, it's a good test. I mean, test is positive or negative. And we showed CHEMET positive and the fortbio.com, alibaba.com, some fraudulent, nasty stuff. Even though it's whiter, it didn't turn yellow, and it's all nasty stuff. Chemistry's awful. But sometimes you got to use chemistry to overcome chemistry. So, anyways, for the best products that don't synthesize and use chemicals in labs to make crap at, Amway.com/Shane Bruce uses organic plant compounds where they take out all the water, all the carbs, all the fibers, put it into I'm guessing a centrifuge to get the best of the nutrients at a certain level, and they can't take and refine that, not really refine, but concentrate it and press it together. And these vitamins are much better than anything else. And if you're ever chelating and you have to fight, the chemical battle in your body with this stuff, DMSA or the EDTA or anything else like that. Heck, if you drink coffee, you need some good vitamins. So for best vitamins, come see my shop. And if you have any questions about chelating, I'm not going to talk to you until you do at least buy them daily. And depending on your chemical hair test, maybe the CalMag-D, because those are the first things you need when chelating. And I can tell you more about it, but come to my shop, order the daily or the XX and the CalMag-D, and you need those right away before you start. There's a lot of other processes to go through. And but come see me. Come see my shop. Buy online, and good luck. Yeah, everyone's health is in their own hands. Your own health is in your own hands. We all have to do what we do. I never had a doctor prescribe this stuff. No doctor knew what to do. I had to go to the National Institute of Health research online and research every step myself. Look at the published journals, the scientific method of peer-reviewed journals of scientists, and actual data. I've worked out a method to fight heavy metal poisoning. And then somebody tries to sell me some fake counterfeit crap. So at least here's a test for that. Alright, know what you got. Know what to do. Know what to do with it. Shane Bruce here. See y'all later.